watching at the reserved seats and saying, "Oh, I should be sitting there."
Yeah, it's my right to sit there. Could you?
Yeah.
キスしないが、キスの音だけを出すっていうことを人生でしたことがないから。って言われてる。
I'm sorry, if you have time, can you give me one of those, please? Thank you. Woman just turn and say, "What do you mean if I have time? I'm working."
You're so Japanese.
I feel like I'm Japanese now. What is happening? I don't know.
今日はスペインに帰って感じた逆カルチャーショックについて話してみるよ。
Let's find out!
こんにちは、全人類と友達になるとこ僕感じた
マンディビーブルーです。そして
やないもです。そして
アイロンです。
マンディ、お帰りなさい。
お帰りなさい、マンディ。
ただいま
お帰りなさい。
実はマンディ、スペインに帰ってまして、どのくらい？
あ、2週間ぐらいよ。
おー、どうだった？
いや、めちゃくちゃ面白かった。たくさん食べました。
食べるよな。
That's why she got a salad today.
Yeah.
I found
昼
her
ご飯
out.
ね、みんなでさっき昼ご飯行ってきて、
Yeah.
Found her out.
サラダ食べてましたからね。
I eat a lot.
スペインってどんなご飯が人気なの？
はい。
There it is.
今日のテーマはスペインに帰って感じた逆カルチャーショックについて。
Woo! Let's beat this topic into the ground. Spain style.
いや、そうね。スペイン人のマンディは日本に住んで6年くらい？
もうすぐ7年。
もうすぐ7
Whoa.
年で、日本に来た時には、
うん
カルチャーショックあるわけですね、もちろん。
うん。
ただこう7年住んでいると日本にどんどん慣れてきますというところで、こう日本に染まりきったマンディがスペインに帰った時になんか違う、私住んでたのに昔なんか違うってこう思うのが逆カルチャーショックと
Is
いうこ
that
と
your
で、
impression of Mandy?
そうそうそう、
How do you
なんか違うぞっていつも、
ついてねえんだよ。But yeah, there was a lot of culture shocks that I experienced during my time in Spain. It's been like 7 years since I was living there, and I go to Spain just once a year for Christmas. This time I went a little bit early in September. There was a few things that I didn't expect that I was getting that shocked, but yeah, even now I think about it and it was like, that was weird.
おー、なるほどね。
Yeah.
I'm so curious because we usually talk about just America or like Canada in terms of like culture shock, but I just want to hear from Spanish perspective.
それでは行ってみましょう。
Oh, us Spain.
じゃあ1個目。
The subway is really loud, but there's something good also.
Oh,
Nani,
good
nani.
thing about the subway? You mean getting off the subway?
No, you will be surprised.
サブウェイっていうのはパンにいろいろ挟んでこう食べる。
No!
Oh my god!
Welcome to America.
Wow, that was a great joke, Fuji.
一応言っといた方がいいけどね、やっぱ日本人のね視聴者の方多いですから。
バイロの影響だね。
Oh.
The subway is really loud. There's a lot of people talking and a lot of people just watching TikToks with the volume up. Yeah, just watching videos or calling someone. Everybody's talking in a very loud voice, which is something that I'm not used to anymore. But at the same time, there's communication between people that you don't know. There's a lot of people in the subway, and there's those reserved seats for people with special needs or people with old people, right? So sometimes there's young people sitting there, and an old lady came to the subway, gets inside the subway, just look at the young people and said, can you leave me your seat because I'm older? And they are like, oh, okay, yeah, of course. I never saw that in Japan, not even once. Someone watching at the reserved seats and saying, "Oh, I should be sitting there."
Yeah, it's my right to sit there. Could you?
Yeah.
I think Japanese people do that. The way they do that is they go on the train and then they go like this.
They pretend like they're having a tough time.
Oh no.
And then they're not saying anything, but then now if I sit in the
気を
seat
使わせるみたいな。
that is reserved for people who need it more than me, I'm a dick.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. But in Japan, it's more like 空気を読む
Yeah.
culture. In Japan, of course, there's that, but in Spain, we don't have that.
空気を伝える。
Yeah. straight away. We said it. And there was like a 3 or 4 times where I was in the subway and then I heard someone saying, can someone from the reserved seats just leave me the seat because I cannot walk or something like that, or I'm older, or can someone younger leave my seat?
Nice.
And that's it. And that works.
ちょっと too much.
That was, I thought that was too much. But then I thought about it and it was like, oh, but it's kind of nice because you can express yourself out loud.
そうだ
Too
まあ
loud, but yeah.
まあ言う側も受け取る側も OK だったらいいよねそれはね、まあ、文化の違いだから
でもね逆になんかオーストリアだからなんかよくわかんないんだけど仮にその何も言わずに譲ったとしても It's like how old do you think I am みたいな
Yeah.
逆に切れる人がいるんですよ
Yeah.
めんどくさい、
なんかいらないわみたいな
あいや
ちょっと喜んでくれよって思っちゃうの
Yeah,
誰に譲
100%.
るべきなのか誰に譲らない方がいいのかっていうのが
あるんだ
ちょっとわかんない時あるからそもそも座らない優先席
Calling me old.
like,
I'm not that old.
海外で電車乗ったことあんまりないんだけどうるさいの
Can
Can I have a volume example?
It's just like you're a Japanese person, you're sitting down. No, it's not that. It's not that loud. It's just that I'm hearing perfectly the other people's conversation. It's like they're talking about job, Like, oh, you know what? The other day I was just sitting there and my job was. Oh my god, my boss was a complete pain in the ass. I cannot believe that. And I'm just sitting there.
だいぶうるさ
Wow.
Right?
sometimes you get invested into the story. It's like,
Yeah.
No
I want to
season.
know. I want to know a little bit more. And then I look at the other side and I see an old lady with a TikTok open, just watching the videos, full volume
い
off.
やばいそれはもうやば
And
い
it was like, wow, this is crazy. I feel like I'm Japanese now. What is happening? I don't know.
So did it feel good, or were you slightly just a little annoyed that there was?
I was a little annoyed. Yeah, I was a little annoyed. It was like, kuki o yominasai yo.
Oh, the one person who thought that in the whole train.
Yeah.
いや日本でさ携帯時々音流してる人いるじゃんもうピリつくね車内が
わかるなんかすっごいなんかもう
NG
そう
背筋伸ばしたくなるぐらいなんかピッてなっちゃう
ピーンってなるあいつなんじゃ
気づいてくれへんかなーってイヤホンつなげてるはずなんだけど分かってない人ちょっとかわいそうだなって思っちゃう時ある
Yeah, that's true. We also had the people with the speaker. They came straight. They come right away to this with a speaker and a microphone, and it's like, sorry, I'm bothering you, but I just wrote this song, and everyone should listen for a second if you have time. Thank you. And they start singing out loud with the speaker, and then when they finish, they pass the hat so you can give him like a nagesen. That was crazy for me. I think that happens in America a lot.
It does. A lot.
Right?
Yes, all the time. I don't
just
give money.
sometimes.
In America, I don't speak English.
あげたくないからね
when they come up to me, oh, sorry, no English. And I can get away with it.
That's it. That's a subway. Good things and bad things.
So the good thing was that people were actually outspoken to give up their seats.
Yeah. They have like no worries. They have no shame about communication, which is amazing.
確かに
It's really good.
1個目は地下鉄はうるさいがいいこともあるんじゃない、でした次
Mama?
Toilet seats.
toilet seats
I miss the toilet seats.
ウォシュレット or the warm one
Washlet, yeah. I miss it. I miss so much the toilet seats. This is a conversation that we also had in this channel and we already have with a lot of foreigners that come here and just start to get used to the washlet, and then it's like, I don't want anything else in my life. But when you go to a public toilet here, sometimes they even have the washlets. Or they have like a space so you can put your jacket, or it's usually very clean. In Spain, is like the opposite of that.
Where do you hang your bag then, or your jacket in a Spanish toilet?
You don't.
You just wear it, and then the dookie
Yeah.
water goes on your jacket? Or?
Kinda, yeah.
It just reminded me 確かにオーストリア
This time that I went to Spain, there was a few toilets, like public toilets that were really cool and really nice. But usually, I don't go to public toilets in Spain because I don't feel like it's gonna be like a clean space for me. And the first impression is, oh my god, the toilet seats are gonna be so dirty and it's gonna be terrible and it's gonna be ugly and it's gonna stink. I don't want to go to a public toilet. And then I went to a few and I realized that nowadays is cleaner.
あ本当
it's better. It's not that dirty and it's not that smelly. And I think they adapt a little bit more to the Japanese way. It's not buttons though, it's not washlet, but it's getting better.
なるほどね。まあ昔は汚かったけど、今はちょっとだいぶ良くなってきたかなっていうのが一個あるね。
Yeah.
他にこの本のトイレにないものって何があるんだったっけ？
The hooks on the wall.
フッ
The
ク
hooks on the wall.
でウォシュレットがない。
Yeah.
これでかいですね。
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. Especially for women, we really appreciate washlets.
Yeah.
It's really important.
私も特に感謝してます。
さすが。
Mm, mm.
But now it's better.
It's good. You put your standards all the way to the bottom, and you
Yeah.
were pleasantly surprised when you found an okay toilet seat.
An
Right?
okay
Watch it.
toilet.
Yes.
Yeah, not perfect, not a
Yes.
10, not 10 out of 10 like in Japan, but maybe a 6 or a 7. Yeah.
Good enough.
Good.
I only had to wipe the toilet one time.
Yeah,
there
something
it
like
is.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
You only have to wipe one side of it. It's good.
Good.
ワイプするさ、時々シートとかトイレットペーパーにつけてやるやつあったりさ、あんなもあるの？
No.
No.
ないね。
No, only you.
Only you, Japan.
Though
Only your country.
sometimes in like some fancy stations,
Oh.
they have like a self-disinfecting toilet seat that
Oh,
turns
yeah.
around. They have that at some state, like bigger
見
stations in
見
Austria.
たことないけどなんかグ
The,
グって
the
動い
seat
て
goes
Yeah.
like,
で紙の部分がなんか交換されるみたいなやつだよね。
い
Also,
や違う
yeah.
なんかで消毒液で
あ、拭いてくれるっていうこと。はあ。僕はなんか薄い紙が貼っててそれがおーんつって交換されるみたいなのをネットで見たことあるけど。
なるほどね。
はあ。
Where'd you see that? James Bond movie or something? Like when does the toilet like change? Do you know a thing about plumbing?
何？
Bro,
Plumbing.
their pipes go right here. What are they gonna do? Make more pipes back here and then you're gonna switch toilets
Yeah,
like
maybe,
that?
yeah. Maybe.
ピッて押したら自分もとかかかっていく。
Yeah.
ジェームズボンド的に。
James Bond.
ということでトイレがでした。
Yeah.
次。
Saying hi with 2 kisses.
There it is. There's the one. I was looking
来ましたね。
forward to this one.
なるほど
Yes.
ね。やっぱ来るんですね。
Yeah.
どういうこと
Did you
ですか？
I'm not used to that anymore. I'm not used to that anymore at all. Usually, women, men, they meet and they 2 kisses. Okay, they give 2 kisses. 1, 2 kisses. Usually, we don't even give the kisses in the cheek. We just put the cheeks together and we make the sound. That's it.
It's a cheek tap, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a cheek tap. Yeah, it's more like that. I thought that it was over during the pandemic, but now that we are healthy again and we're living in a good world, the 2 kisses are back again, and I'm not used to that at all.
Do you like hover or do you make contact with the cheek?
You make contact with the cheek.
You make contact
Yeah,
with the cheek.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and especially when it's a friend, when it's someone that my family or my friends, okay, I can do that. But when it's someone I don't know, why do I have to kiss the cheeks of this man that I just met? Maybe it's a bad person. Maybe it's someone dirty. Maybe they didn't shower before meeting me. Why do I have to kiss him?
Their beard is spiky.
Yeah. Why do I have to do that? And
I've,
it's just weird.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you go in for the first cheek kiss,
Yeah.
is it always an approach from the right?
It's always I go with
So
the
with the left
right
on the right
cheek.
cheek, and then
and
you
then
go
the other
to
one.
with the left cheek.
Yeah.
No.
Are there instances where you forget?
Yeah.
Kind of.
間
There's
違えてチュ
yeah.
ーしちゃうってこと。
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
maybe the other
Yeah.
person is used to going right, left, but you've grown up your whole life left, right.
No, I mean
then-
usually it's always like this. It's always like right cheek, left cheek.
Okay.
But sometimes when you meet someone that has been in outside Spain for a long time and they come back like me, I paused for a second and it was like, okay, was it the right or the left? And then we have this moment where we're trying not to kiss each other.
Yes.
It's kind of when you're trying to get out of the way of each other and you're like,
Yeah, and it's like, oh.
超おもろい。
It's funny. It's like you're trying not to kiss, but you
Yeah.
end up kissing,
Kissing,
and
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
want to kiss, but you have to do the action
Yeah.
anyway.
And then you meet someone from, I don't know, Argentina or Mexico, and they just give 1 kiss.
Yeah. Mwah.
So it's just one, and then you're waiting for the other one, and then you almost kiss the lips of that person because they were not waiting for the other one, and it was like, oh, now it's uncomfortable.
Oh, exactly. That's like, why are you trying to kiss me? I was only supposed to give you one.
Yeah.
some places do like 3 times.
What?
Yeah.
True.
Like if they really missed you, or is
No, it's just like that's the way to do it.
キスしないが、キスの音だけを出すっていうことを
Yeah.
人生でしたことがないから。ってやるってこ
You can tell from that accent.
と。マジでわからん。
Doing that.
マジでわからん。
That was the creepiest thing I ever
Yeah,
いやちょっと待って
it was also the creepiest
でもほんまにほんまに。
変わっちゃった。
Yeah.
待って
Ah, why did you show
ち
it
ょっと待って
again?
待って。
Don't do that again!
You're gonna see that in your
マジでわ
nightmares.
からん。
It's just
うん。
that's it.
Um,
Kinda.
yeah, sure.
いける？
See
じゃあい
ya.
やいやいける？音。
Yeah,
上
that's
手
it.
だわ。
And sometimes we're even speaking while we're
Yeah,
doing it.
hello,
So nice to meet
good
you.
to see you.
ほっぺたをつけてやるってこと。
Yes.
でこれでってやるってこと。
Yes. Mandy, I have a question. What is the difference between right now Mandy in Japan and Spanish Mandy? Tell me like 3 things that you do differently as Spanish Mandy. So one, you get louder, right?
yeah.
Or what else?
I'm in Spain. I'm more touchy. Like I tend to grab some arms or hug someone out of the blue and stuff like that. I need to
okay.
know you really well to be able to hug you
Yeah.
here in Japan.
Yeah.
So if out of the blue I go like it's like okay, you pass the line. You're in the circle.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
There it is. There it is, everybody.
That's right. Yeah. In Spain it's really like in just one evening I can do that.
それは男友達でもやるの？
Yeah.
へえ、こうやって？
Yeah, it's fine.
おー
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah. But in Japan it's like no. Especially with men, it's like no, there's no way. No way I wanna do that.
やる？
ジャパンで？
いえオーストリアとかで。
いや自分はあんまりやな。オーストリアの方はもうちょっと距離あるかな。スペインの方が
ああなるほどね。
Yeah.
Well, when I was in high school, if like a girl is like always like, cause you're like, ah, you're so funny. She's flirting with you, for sure.
Oh
100%.
yeah, when you are.
Yeah.
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 And there's a lot of touching from the opposite sex. Yeah. There's some feelings there for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
friends
maybe, yeah.
do that. I mean, if the girl's doing it to all of her friends, then you know. But then you know if she likes you, she touches you a little bit differently.
Like the hugs are a few seconds longer. Yeah.
touch on the shoulders a little
Touch on
bit
the
more
shoulder.
softly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes for the hug here because she wants you to hug her here.
Oh, I never thought about that, but that's true. Yeah, that's right.
Because if she doesn't like you, then she'll hug you like this.
Oh,
Like
the tap
one
tap.
hand.
Yeah, one hand. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
god, so
tap,
good
tap.
to see you.
Tap tap.
And then the side, the side. That's
like
the
The
Nihonjin
side
hug.
hug.
Like this.
That's it.
日本人ハグこうだから。
Oh my god.
指先だけ触れる。
What is that?
That's the- Yeah, but I think that's the biggest difference, I guess. But, for example, this time I met my osana najimi, right? I mean, we've been friends since we were like 6 or even like earlier. And we are like basically brother and sister. We saw each other. We don't give each other 2 kisses. We hug, and we tend to keep like a long hug. Like, how are you? Good. I'm so tired. How was your work? Oh, good. Yeah. And then we separate. We give 2 kisses out of the blue, and then we keep having the conversation.
So hug combo, 2 kisses.
Yeah. And that's something I will never do here in Japan.
キスちょっと気まずいな。でした。
Okay.
次。
You can talk with anybody, everywhere.
スモールトークってこと？
Small talk. I was walking in Alicante, which is a very like small city, and there was an old lady that was carrying a dog that was very aggressive. You know those tiny dogs that has a lot of character.
Fuji?
He's not
チワワ
small.
か？
He's not small.
No. He's more like a Akita.
Yeah,
He's more like
that's
a
right.
Akita.
That's right.
So
けんだな。
the old lady was just like ignoring the dog, and the dog was like everywhere. So we just passed through that, and then another guy that was just walking in the same direction just looked at me and my mom and says, "Wow, that dog was crazy." we didn't know that guy. We didn't know that guy.
確かにそういうのあるね。
But we start talking with him a little bit, and we were going to the same direction. So he was like, "Oh, thank God that today's a lovely day. So just have a good time." And oh, you're wearing a wallet. You're coming from? Are you traveling or something? And, yeah, I'm actually coming from Japan. Oh, well, just have a lovely time here.
That's so nice.
And that's it. I went to a bakery. I spent a lot of time in the bakery because the woman that was in front of me was talking about their kids with the staff of the bakery. So they were just talking about the children and school and work stuff. They were just hanging out there. It was not about I want this and I want that and there you go, here's your change and get out of there. No, it was more like a normal conversation between two people that know each other. I was part of the conversation too. Because they start talking about, I don't know, politics or something like that. And it was like, oh, well, like yesterday news. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I was there. and I was like, I didn't watch the news. I'm sorry. I just came yesterday. Oh, really? Oh, well, yesterday. And they start to talk to me about what yesterday news.
僕から言いますかなんかそう、トランプ大統領はどう思いますか It's like that. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Chill. I just want a bag, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
そうや絶対しないよね。なんか知らん人と政治の話。普通友達ともしないよね。
I was trying to make small talk, and I just realized that I was so rusty about small talk. I didn't know what to talk about.
It's a skill. It really is a skill to talk about absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. I start talking with someone about anime because this girl was wearing like a One Piece t-shirt, and I was like, I love your t-shirt. Where did you buy it? And she was like, oh, I bought it there. And blah, 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 blah. We start talking about One Piece and animes from the 90s for like half an hour. And then I just stopped her and it was like, wait. What's your name? And she was like, that's right. I don't know your name. And it was like, oh, that's right. And we introduced each other.
I know that in Japan, if you say nice shirt to the opposite sex, they're gonna think it's nampa.
Yeah.
Right? But if you say nice shirt to the same sex, what do Japanese people think about that? Hey man, I really like your shirt. Do you think I'm weird?
まあウィアードには思わないけど、どこで買ったか聞きたいのかなって思う。
There's a motive.
そうそう。あ、もう欲しいのかなと思って。ユニクロで期間限定で売ってるんで、多分今でもいけますよみたいな感じかなって思う。
That like communicates to me this guy clearly doesn't want anything to do with me. Yeah, but I think that Japanese people think that there's always like a goal in mind, but the goal in mind is never to make conversation. It's to help out the other person to find what they need to do.
そうね。
Right? You need to help me by having a conversation with me. That's what I'm looking for.
それって多分日本ではっきり言わないと分かんないかもね。話したくて。それ weird か。
What?
That is right.
僕はちょっと論理だけど、なんかちょっと相手にならない。
そうでもなんか少し控えめに言ったら全然それはいけるけど、別にみんなしたいと思うのよ。
Really?
で僕もあったら面白いなと思うし、喋ったら仲良くなるの。ただ最初の一歩のハードルがめちゃくちゃ高い。
だよね。
知らない人に話しかけるっていうのは、しくそ今から話しかけるぞ。しくそくらいの覚悟がないと結構厳しいかもしれない。
そうなんだ。
So what training do Nampa guys have to do in Shinjuku?
It's called
and
the
Dotonbori?
training of not giving a shit.
Yes.
Is there a Nampa Daigaku or something?
あ、なんか大学じゃないけど、
そっか
インターネットでなんかありましたよ。ナンパのやり方みたいな。
やば。
ナンパオンライン大学行くくらいなんだったら、
オンライン大学。
海外に留学した方が絶対いいよね。自然なナンパの仕方は身につきそうじゃない。僕さ、ライアン鈴木さんっていう YouTuber の方がいて、見てるんだけど、これ完璧なナンパの仕方やなと思って、別に悪い意味じゃなくて、海外の人から見てもすごい余裕があってダンディーな、何してるのくらいの振る舞い方してすごいセクシーじゃん。
In Spain, there was one time where some kind of nampa, but it was so well done. The next time we talked, I said, okay, it didn't work for me because I had a partner back in that time, but please keep doing that because that's such a good technique.
Whoa!
Okay, so the technique was the hat. The fedora. He was wearing a fedora. We were in a rock pub, I think, and I was having fun with some girlfriends, and we were all together dancing. And you know, sometimes you do that circle when you're dancing all together. You're in a circle. You're
Yep.
No.
So this guy enters the pub with a fedora, gets inside the circle. He looks at all my friends, and he looks at me and puts his fedora on my head, and he just goes away. And I felt bad because I was wearing a fedora that was not mine.
Free hat.
So I went to him and said, "Hey, this is yours. Maybe you forgot." And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much. You're so nice. Let me invite you to a shot."
ああ、すごいね。
ナンパ大学今から始めたいと思います。僕がメガネかけてる時はこうやってかけて。
Yeah, 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 yeah.
何も見えんけどね。誰でもいい。
返してくれよ。
ナンパが上手になりたければスペインに行きましょう。
I swear, we're gonna see a bunch of people walking around in fedoras.
Yeah.
これね、明日からみんなかぶってるから。知らない人との小話が多いでした。次。ババン。
おもてなしの心なし。
なし。
おもてなしなし。
なし。
表ありか。
表ありか。表なしのなしはあり。
I'm very used to Japan's おもてなしの心 which is amazing. The fact that they treat you so well, that they speak to you like you're a superior, and sometimes it feels a little bit too much. But then you're used to reply with the basic like, "Hi, ありがとうございます。大丈夫です。避けても大丈夫です." And that's it, right? But in Spain, they're treating you also with the small talk. And like if you're a friend, they want you to come again, but so that's why they're treating you like a friend or a family member. So instead of "Good morning, what are you gonna have today in this lovely day?" it's gonna be more like, "What do you want?" And that's it. And I'm not used to that anymore, so I don't know how to reply. And they laughed at me the other day because I was in a store and it was like, "I'm sorry, if you have time, can you give me one of those, please? Thank you."
You're so Japanese.
And woman just turned and say, "What do you mean if I have time? I'm working. I'm working here." And it was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "Don't say sorry again. Why are you saying sorry so much?" And he's like,
I'm sorry.
What should I do?
It's very interesting to hear that from you, Mandy, because you know the language, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back home and you kind of bring yourself about in Japanese, but in your native
Yeah,
tongue.
yeah.
Because that's what you found as respectful to do in Japan. And then
Totally.
when you bring it back, you're speaking your native tongue, but for some reason, they're not understanding you.
Yeah.
They're not understanding where you're coming from because your heart has just changed in the country where you lived for a long time. So just apologizing over and over again seems so natural. I'm like, why don't they understand me? I'm speaking English. They're like, bro, that's like the 5th or 6th time you said sorry to me.
Or you're in a coffee shop and I'm used to taking my coffee out of the table and put it in a place where they can, the trays, they take the trays and they clean it, right?
Yeah.
So in Spain, most of the time they leave everything there and then when they leave, the waitress is cleaning everything. Every time I pick up the tray, the waitress said, "Why'd you do that? Don't do that."
That's my job.
Don't worry, you just leave it there. It's okay. And they look at me like, "It's okay. Well, you're not from here, right?" I was like, "No, I'm Spanish."
Yeah.
So there was one time that I did that and they start talking to me in English.
They found the foreigner, everybody. The
They
Spanish
thought I
found
was
the
a foreigner. I was born here. And yeah, that was 恥ずかしい。恥ずかしかった。
Dude, that's the thing. We know the language, but it's like not the language that we know anymore.
It's different.
It's not. It's super different.
Somehow it's different.
It just shows how language is not just words.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
It's culture.
So
Also, I'm ordering something in the menu and I saw first dish, second dish, and dessert, right? But I saw the second dish and everything was so heavy, I didn't think that I could finish the second one. Can I just have the first and the dessert? Is that possible? Is there a possibility? Is there an option for that? Because in Japan it's not.
Yeah.
In Japan you have to order what is in the menu and that's it. And you cannot take off or put nothing else. So it was like, is that possible to not have the second one? And the waiter just wanted me and say, "Sure." Not. What do you want? It was like, thank you.
that's kind of the freedom to customize.
Yeah, the freedom to customize your order.
ルールとかは店員さんの 自分の自由がある程度あるってことだよね。
It doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't it be possible, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
なんか別にね、
Yeah.
その断る理由ないじゃん。まあ、if it was more expensive that way, it's like, oh, you have to pay more then ってなるけど。
でも日本的な考えすると一人その例外許すと他の人とのバランスが取れなくなって余計な仕事増えるからやらないとかっていうのもあるのよ。
It's like, see how like that makes us all uncomfortable now.
Yeah.
Customizing our order, which
Yeah.
used to be just a candy that you used to have
Yeah,
from
yeah,
birth.
Because
If-
nobody can just eat everything, right?
If I
Yeah,
want a
yeah.
cheeseburger without the cheese, I can get it. You know, I'd like
Please.
a cheeseburger, no cheese, no bun, just the patty.
Just
I
yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Yes.
すご
They
い
get it, they
do
get it.
that.
Maybe you can.
それはきつい無理かも。
So then we
Yeah.
come to Japan, things come as a set, and you can't change it, right?
Yeah.
And of course, all of us were upset. Like, hey, what do you mean you can't change it? Just don't put sugar in it. I don't want it with sugar.
Yeah.
Then everything comes. Then they say order something else that doesn't have sugar, and you kind of
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
roll with the punches in that way. And now, since it doesn't come as a set, and we take anything off, now we just start to like freeze. And we're like, I could customize it now.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Like, what do I want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is too much freedom for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit like that. I start to think that I was okay. I'm getting a little bit of Japanese mode because I was thinking about the waitress taking the order, adding the without this and with this and without this and without that, and then send it to the people from the kitchen. And I was feeling bad for the people at the kitchen because they have to customize something. And then I realized I was in Spain,
Yes.
and that's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
It's a very
It's normal.
Japanese thing where you go into a restaurant and everybody is a team,
Yes.
right? And you have to think about how do I make the workers work the least amount of work
Yes.
in order to provide for me.
Yes.
But then in Kaiga, you switch it around. How do I make these guys work for me so I can get what I want?
Yeah, the
Right.
most important thing is the phrase 迷惑かけたくない
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's not an option in Spain. It's like if you want something, just say it.
なるほどね。
But I was all the time for the first, especially the first week, I was thinking 迷惑かけたくない
いや、わかる。うん。
おもてなしなし
なし
でした。
表にあい。
はい、ということで今日はマンディがスペインに帰って感じた逆カルチャーショックについて話してみました。
どうだった？
いや、面白かったね。
面白かったね
で、いや、わかるとか、あ、確かにそうだったわっていうのも結構あったから面白かった。
It's kind of cool because going back to your country makes you realize how much you've changed. Right? If you look
Yeah.
at yourself in the mirror, you talk to yourself and talk to your friends, and you kind of think to yourself like, I've been me this whole time. There's no way that I could change
Yeah.
being in a new environment, adjusting to the rules. Okay, I know the rules now, but when I go back to my own country, like, I live there. I was born there. There's no
I
way
know,
that I
I
would
know.
be a fish out of water. You go back and you're like, oh God, what has happened to me?
Yeah, you're just
Yeah.
like magic carping your way through life.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, dang, these are actual phenomenons to exist. And it's just interesting to kind of talk with everybody about these differences that we feel in our home country. So yeah, exactly. If you've been here for over 5 years or longer, you start to feel almost Japanese, even though you don't have any Japanese.
Yeah, your heart is divided.
Your
somehow.
heart is super divided, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what really determines a
I-
Nihonjin to be Nihonjin?
I 100% agree with you. I mean, right now, I feel like in sometimes when I'm here in Japan, it's like, oh, I'm too Spanish for this, and then when I go to Spain, it's like, oh my God, I'm starting to be too Japanese.
わかる。
And I love Spain and I love Japan, so I can understand both the good things, the bad things, the mad things. I understand all of them. It's just about that switch that needs to be, you know, in a few days I will be Spanish again. Don't worry, Mama, I will be Spanish again. But yeah, but it takes time. Yeah.
確かにね。
Good job, Mandy.
ありがとうございます。
Being Japanese is not a bad thing, right, Fuji?
もちろんまあこのチャンネルで見てくれてる人はもう分かってると思うけど別にどっちが正解とかは全然ない
もちろん
文化のただの違いなだけで今日それを楽しもうってやってるだけなんで、まあトイレは綺麗な方がいいけどね。
ね
まあね
でも、で例えば日本はもっと小話スモールトークできた方がいいよねっていうところが、まあ、あんまりないわけだから、魅力的なとことそうじゃないとこもうどっちもねいろんな国に持ってるから、まあ、そこだけちょっと誤解しないようにお願いしますね。はい。
It's time for Mandy and Yana宣伝タイム Go ahead。
皆さんどうもどうもマンディビーブルーです。スペイン出身で今日本で歌手声優とタレントとして働いています。けども NHK の幸せ気分のスペイン語のマンディ先生になりました。イエーイ。ぜひぜひ一緒にスペイン語を勉強しましょう。あとね、SNS でモノマネ動画や歌ってみたいろいろアップしてますので I want to understand Japanese hearts of course だから日本語で歌ってますアニソング目指してますので頑張ります。応援よろしくお願いします。
シンガーソングライターのやないもです。自分で作詞作曲編曲楽器演奏すべて一人でやってるのでぜひ Spotify などでチェックしてみてください。よろしくお願いします。
2人の YouTube SNS は概要欄貼っておきますので皆さん方のチェックをよろしくお願いいたします。他に僕らに話してほしいトピックがあればコメント欄までよろしくお願いします。それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。チャンネル
登録
お願い
します。